FASHI, is Buddhism a science?
Yes, Buddhism is a science. We can say not a cold science in the literal sense, but the science of mind. Because the mind in Buddhism is subtle. Buddhists believe only in the law of causality. And the law of causality, it is inside samsara itself, but is all mind. So there is a cause, like you have a thought, pre-action, what's called a thought, and then there is action. But it is a science in the sense that Buddhism doesn't rely on faith. Instead, it relies on the consequences, and the consequences should be checked. For instance, Buddha, before turning the wheel of Dharma, what's called in Sanskrit, Dharma Chakra Pravartana, he checked and rechecked the Dharma. So it didn't teach on belief. As we know, Buddha didn't teach from books. Although his background came from Hinduism, but he never taught from the Vedas. Because the Vedas, the followers of the Vedas, they accept the Vedas as an authority, not as scientific. But they believe there were such and such rishis, and they preach it, and so the Vedas, they are eternal for those who follow what they are called, the followers of Sanatana Dharma. But Buddhism relies more on the Shramana path. That means it's like a yogic path. In the beginning, it was like the monks, Buddhist monks, they used to sit alone before the construction of viharas, what they are called, Buddhist centers, Buddhist monasteries. They used to sit and analyze their mind. So there was compassion, karuna, and the outcome was prajna, wisdom. But never Buddha spoke to rely on what's called faith, shraddha, it's called in Sanskrit. So all the time, even the sayings of Buddha, the sutras, Buddha requested from the monks that first they have to check them. Okay? What Buddha said, if it's in accord with logic and insight. Because in Buddhism, for instance, when a person attains the Tao, enlightenment, it doesn't matter on what level, still has to clarify it with his teacher, with his master. Because mind can be very tricky. So you can have hallucinations, for instance. Or the mind also has the habit of what he sees or hears. So this can come up in vision or in a dream, So you cannot rely on this. Attainment in itself, it's empty of anything, of any concept. So it's very clear and is based on fact. That means that you can verify it. Okay? let's say if you have a vision, and that vision, after 2 weeks, after 1 month, 2 months, 1 year even, it turns out it solidifies itself. Then that means your experience was based on intrinsic vision, or insight, what we call it vipassana in Sanskrit. Not people who say, oh, I saw the Buddha, I saw Bodhisattva, I see Buddhas. But actually, it can be very tricky. Because if you see the Buddha, it cannot be. I've heard also many in the Tibetan traditions, oh, I received teaching from such and such Buddhas, and such Buddha gave these teachings. I'm not saying that Buddha has not the capacity of teaching. We know. In the Trikaya philosophy, we know that Buddha, the highest teachings of Buddha, they are done mind to mind, asambhogakaya. So there are such things, but you have to verify if that Buddha is a true apparition, is a true teaching, not illusory. Okay? Because the mind is like a mirror. Anything that you think and any object that you put in front of it, it reflects. So we should be very careful. Of course, enlightened people, they know, because they can check their mind. They know when a vision is true vision or it is illusory. So they also know what to do. But ordinary people, they can be fooled up by their thoughts, by what's called the lower mind, the conventional mind. This can fool people. And when a person has not had an attainment, inner attainment, higher attainment, I mean the subtle mind, that's called apravidya. That means knowledge which is beyond this samsaric aspect of the mind. Because the mind has the two aspects. That's why Buddhism is not a religion, actually. I myself, I'm not interested anymore to go to these interfaith gatherings with Islam, Judaism, Christianity. I have not interest, because I earnestly believe that Buddhism is a science of mind. So you can sit with the scientists, with very rational people. Not, okay, Buddha is like God, like this. No, Buddha is not like God. He was not a God. He never said he was a God. What the teachings of Buddha, the Buddha Dharma, is a scientific knowledge that can be checked. Of course, not in a, how do you call it, inside the room, in a cell. But it can be checked by the mind. Because outside the mind there is nothing. And beyond causality, and this world is based on causality, karma. There is not, by chance I met you, by chance so and so happened, such a miracle happened. No, we don't believe in these things. We rely on ourselves. Not God, not all these faiths of different religions, theistic and polytheistic. We don't believe. So, yes, Buddhism is a science of mind. Should be stressed, science of mind. I think that's my understanding as a Buddhist monk. May Buddha bless you.